Welcome back to a brand new Clash Royale video, guys. My name is Patrick, aka Chief Pat, and today we're going to be trying out the newest card inside of Clash Royale, which is the Inferno Dragon inside of my main account. Now, I've been trying to get the Inferno Dragon for a while, except I didn't want to buy a ton of chests. So instead, I waited for it to pop up into my shop, and finally today it is there. So let's go ahead and buy it right now and upgrade it up to level 2. So no point in buying that third card because it costs, I think, 4 cards to get up to level 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade it to level 2 for now. Only 5,000 gold to get the job done, which is chump change once you're level 13. And yeah, let's go ahead and try the Inferno Dragon out inside of a couple of battles. Now, the deck that I'm going to throw the Inferno Dragon into, I was sort of struggling to make a deck around it. I really feel like people haven't found a perfect deck to play with it just yet, but I decided to throw it into this Giant Prince deck, which you've been seeing a lot at the very top. This might be the most popular deck inside of the entire game right now at the top of the leaderboard. So pretty much I threw the Inferno Dragon in there. I've got the Elixir Collector, of course, as well as the guards on defense and the Ice Spirit to help defend as well. The Poison and the Zap, the two strongest spell cards in the game. Guys, some of these cards have just been strong for so long, I can't wait for a mix up in the meta. But at least we do have the new Inferno Dragon inside of this deck. Let's go ahead and use it, see if we can lock onto a couple of towers. And if we're able to burn some towers down, that would actually be pretty fun, even though it's only level 2, which is sort of underleveled as far as Legendary goes up towards the top. Alright, so starting off, we haven't got the Inferno Dragon just yet. In fact, it's the last card inside of my deck, which is sort of annoying. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and do a Giant Prince push down the right-hand lane. He's going to drop his own Prince, so I'm going to draw my Ice Spirit, which is actually going to hit the guards instead. So far, this push has actually been pretty poor. I'm going to throw the Inferno Dragon down. And as you're about to see, the Inferno Dragon is going to do almost nothing to these minions. And now it's going to lock onto his Prince, and it should take it fairly low, but I was a little bit scared, so I had to drop some guards to make sure it didn't hit my tower. Now, so far, we're still looking okay. Inferno Dragon will lock on for a second onto that right-hand tower, but still not do very much damage due to the Ice Wizard slow. So in all honesty, we need to get the Inferno Dragon onto the tower for at least like 2 seconds to really start cranking out the damage and bring the tower to 0. Because if we can get the Inferno Tower to lock on and do the damage that it can do, it's going to burn a tower down really quickly. As well as the card's actually pretty decent on defense as well, and I can show you guys that against a dragon. So if I play my Inferno Dragon right onto the Giant, or I meant play the Inferno Dragon against the Giant, and if I play it against the Giant, it's actually just going to burn that Giant into pieces, which is really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Inferno Dragon now. I've got the Ice Spear to freeze his push in its tracks. He's got a lightning spell, so he's actually going to end up killing my Inferno Dragon right there. I'm going to zap down to Prince to make sure my Prince wins the 1v1 combat, and now with his Dragon, or with his Giant left, my Prince is going to have to help beat that Giant down and then eventually help turn back to his side of the map and to take out his tower. Alright, my Giant's onto his tower. He's already taken my tower down to 745. The game's pretty even right now. Actually, it's almost completely identical. However, he does have an Elixir Collector down, so he definitely has the lead there. I feel like we're both going to take this right-hand tower before we go to overtime, just because none of us really have a defense to deal with each other's Giants. And here we go. I've got the Ice Spirit going down right now, the Zap spell as well, my guards to stop the Prince's push, and the Giant's going to get burned all the way to 0 by the Inferno Dragon, and his lightning spell is actually going to miss my Inferno Dragon to where this right-hand tower should be pretty much dead. So Prince and Inferno Dragon running down the lane, he plays his Giant. The Giant really isn't going to do enough though, because now my poison's ticking away. I actually think that the poison might not kill that tower. And as his Giant runs towards my tower, I'll play the Inferno Dragon to take it out. He plays his poison spell, so at this point, we need to cycle to my poison and drop it onto his tower to make sure this game goes into overtime. Alright, so things are really close right now, obviously. At least I've got a couple of troops on the right-hand side that should win that little bit of combat that's going on over there. Now we need to focus on the left. I've got the Giant down. I've got the Inferno Dragon and the Ice Spirit. I'm going to zap down those minions, which are going to be so annoying to deal with. And now that my Inferno Dragon's locked onto the Prince, it's going to burn it down fairly quickly, and we're going to keep making our way to the tower. He plays a lightning spell that does absolutely nothing, and because of that, we're going to keep capitalizing down this left-hand lane. The Inferno Dragon remains untouched, guys. I feel like the Inferno's about to lock onto that tower right there. The minions are going to do their best. I'm going to kill those, but the Inferno Dragon on the right has just locked onto the tower, and it's going to smash it down to smithereens, giving us a 2 crown to 1 victory. So finally, towards the end of the game, we locked the Inferno Dragon onto that crown tower for only the second time during the match. We locked it on for like a second near the beginning, but the Ice Wizard made it so it did nearly no damage. So we picked up 2 crowns to 1 victory into overtime, and I think that one lightning spell he played just made it so it was impossible for him to defend against our push. So good stuff to get the Inferno Dragon onto the tower. Let's go ahead and move to battle number 2. This time still don't have the Inferno Dragon in my starting hand, and honestly it isn't a card I'd want to play first anyways. I'm feeling like right now it's more of a defensive card just because it's so hard to keep it alive on your opponent's side of the map. Maybe if I had a higher level Inferno Dragon, like if it was level 5 or level 4, I might have a little bit better success on getting it to the tower, but for now it's extremely difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and start pushing down this right-hand lane. Alright, so Giant Prince versus Giant Poison, or Giant Prince and Poison versus Giant Mega Minion and Musketeer. He's going to end up winning that. I did get maybe a hit or 2 off against the tower. My Prince is going to go down again, and it looks like it's going to get sort of close to the tower before locking onto his Prince, and then my Inferno Dragon's going to lock onto his Prince, and I dropped my Ice Spirit too late, and I didn't save the tower from taking any damage. So definitely a mistake right there. I shouldn't have taken that damage. I think my Ice Spirit was available quick enough to where if I had played it faster, I might have been able to save that damage. But anyways, let's go ahead and get ready for another push. He definitely has the elixir advantage by now with the double pumps, so I've got to keep that in mind. So my Giant's going to go down in the very back. I've got the poison spell in my hand in case he gets greedy with his Musketeer, and then I can poison down the elixir collector tower and Musketeer at the same time. But since he didn't, I'm just going to go ahead and save up, put a Prince behind the Giant right here. I'm still holding on to see what he plays, and now that he's played the Musketeer, here's where we can get the payoff with our poison spell. So poison's going to go ahead and affect the tower, the elixir collector, the Musketeer. I've got the Inferno Dragon down. I've got the Prince doing work as well. His Mega Minion is going to go ahead and actually have a zap help it out so it can kill my Inferno Dragon. So we got to play a little bit of defense right here, which should be okay. So with our guards to play some defense, we've actually turned the elixir advantage, I believe, into our favor, and he's going to be on the come up as far as elixir goes. So we've turned the match right on its side, and now things are looking good for us. Damage is even, elixir's in our favor. We've got a fully fresh pump down right now. I'm going to place a Giant on the right-hand side. We need to get the Inferno Dragon to the tower right now, or at least get our Prince there. That's really how we deal damage with our deck, or if we can just keep beating the tower down with a Giant over and over again, since this guy does not have any defenses inside of his deck. Now we've got the Giant Prince push. This is just a 1v1 right now, and as they make their way towards the center, I'm going to go ahead and play my guards, my poison spell as well. The Musketeer is actually just out of range of my poison spell. I was hoping to hit both the Musketeer and the Mega Minion, and then finally it walks inside of it to where we're just having an epic standoff right now where the first person who blinks loses. Alright, so a Giant is down, a Prince is down, 2 Inferno Dragons are down right now. I'm going to zap down everything at the same time, which actually worked out pretty well, but in the end, we're going to lose that standoff right there. And we're going to have to play some defense against all of these dang Musketeers. So Musketeers are going to die. Let's play a Giant. Let's just go on the aggressive right now since he played that Elixir Collector. I've got a Giant. I've got a Prince. He's got his own Prince. I've got my Poison spell waiting for him right now. The Poison's going to go down right here, and we're starting to make some good moves as the Ice Spirit locks on and actually does work right there against my Giant. But take a look. I'm going to zap down to give my Prince one additional hit against that tower, and with the tower at 308, one more Poison spell wins the game for us. So let's go ahead and knock this game out of the park. Poison spells in my hand. I'm going to play it right on top of the tower. The Inferno Dragon is burning that Giant down into smithereens. That's going to be the game with 1300 HP left on our tower. The Poison spell is going to tick away. Good game, well played against Chor Jin Kang. Woo! Alright, that was a close one. We didn't really get to use our Inferno Dragon offensively there. We had to use him on defense, but you could see how much work the Inferno Dragon did against that level 11 Giant towards the very end as it was steamrolling its way towards my tower. So 21 trophies and 20 gold for this battle. Let's go ahead and hop into one more, and let's see if we can get the Inferno Dragon to lock on against the tower. I just want a tower to completely melt using the dragon because it's so much fun. Again, I feel like right now the Inferno Dragon doesn't really have a solid place inside of the meta. I haven't found anyone who has like some sort of amazing deck that works well with it, but for now, let's just go ahead and defend against this guy's push. He obviously is trying to take advantage of that elixir pump that I placed. I'm going to go ahead and defend right now, and debating on dropping my Giant in front of the Prince. I'm just going to wait a half a second for that elixir pump to go ahead and go off and start with a push from the very bottom hand side of my map. All right, so Musketeer going down. Guards will be an easy counter to that. Unfortunately, Musketeer did lock onto my tower, so she's going to get way more damage than I expected. This is actually turning out to be pretty annoying. At this point, looks like our guards are going to make their way across the map with the Inferno Dragon following up. I'm going to play my poison spell as well, just in case he tries to drop something in my Inferno Dragon's path. But take a look as the Inferno Dragon locks onto the tower. It's locked on. It's doing crazy damage, burning the tower all the way to 0. And that's only a level 2 Inferno Dragon. It burned that tower into nothing, and he even had a poison spell going against it, which meant that its attack speed was slower. So finally, we got the Inferno Dragon onto a tower for longer than like 2 seconds, and because of that, he paid massive dividends right there and destroyed that tower fairly quickly. So Jackie's son going to go on the counter attack right here with his Hog Rider. It looks like at this point he might just be going for a Crown Chest. I'm not sure exactly what he's going for by being so aggressive with this push right here. The Log's going to do some damage against my tower, but really not that much. And since he's going so aggressive, I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Inferno Dragon yet again to lock onto the tower. It's locked onto the cannon right now, and now it's making its way towards the King Tower, and let's see if it can burn it all the way down to 0. So 2,500, 2,200, 1,700, 1,400. It finally goes down. If I had like maybe 1 or 2 more seconds, that tower would have been gone. And at this point, good game well played, because that Giant's going to burn that tower down to pieces. And, or I guess slap that tower down to pieces. And that's going to be a 3 crown to 0 victory without even breaking a sweat. So guys, that's it for playing with the Inferno Dragon. It's a pretty fun card to play with. Honestly, I don't think it's top tier right now. Maybe that's just because mine is under leveled as far as facing other level 12s and level 13s. But if you guys have the Inferno Dragon, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's trash? Yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think, or maybe any decks that I can play it inside of now that I just got it inside of this video. So that's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you smack that like button with your elbow. And yeah, that's going to do it. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.